Hey guys and gals of YouTube, how y'all doing? Dave Boy coming here, and on YouTube. Anyways, let's go and go back to talking about some Lego robot builds, the early days, digging through stuff, cleaning up stuff, All right, let's go back to 1994, set 6949, Robo Guardian. Now this is a Spyrius set. I have other Spyrius sets, including the base. We're not going to be talking about that tonight, though. We're just going to be talking about this one, and I believe I've stripped all the figures from this one, so don't even ask. Anyways, 1994 Robo Guardian, very tall build, quite imposing. Red and black looks good. Does have some use of stickers, unfortunately, but some printed elements too. Now, the funny thing about these early Lego builds, Lego robot builds, is they don't have legs. They don't really have any way to make the legs. So these wheels, I think, are supposed to look like some sort of track work, articulated track work. Obviously, some high drag going on. There's a ladder, which would raise some interesting bits, but let's go ahead and tilt this down just slightly. Now, what's curious is a mechanism for gears, so these arms can be raised, and they'll stay up there. On the back are these bars here that, when you lift them, will cause the arm to just, drop. Or you can stop it in between wherever you want it to. Now, these are still the early days of the little arrows showing movement. So you would move these to the side, and inside of here is a small magnetic box. The front opens. This style of mold is still being used on today's Star Wars and other ones. Now you can raise this arm up, for example, and the magnets will grab it. And we don't have ball joints, remember that. So this is kind of the era before that. So we use hinge plates. To me, it always looked like he's carrying a lunchbox, and I really don't like this play feature, but I don't think I'm the target audience for this play set. I mean, I could be. This side here has this clamp, this pinching bit on here, which is cool, and as a result, it does swing away, it does move. That's kind of cool. Now, to the rear of this, you'll see there's like a ladder. Nothing really under the ladder. Up here is a pair of the little robot arms, droid arms, and it secures this flyer in here, which I'm going to turn around and look at it because it's actually very hard to operate it. If you're not seeing it. Anyways, these little arms come out. Put your fingernail in, whatever, and this little flower comes out. It's pretty colorful. I like the looks of it. It's got propulsion. It's got a printed piece here. It's kind of cool. And it leaves the whole body kind of empty, and it always makes you wonder what the purpose of the robot is, but that's neither here nor there. The other interesting thing is, if you notice, the back has this bomb piece with the fins, and this just sort of snaps off, and it can become a flower of its own. Now, one thing that's kind of curious about Lego Spyrius is they had both ground and air vehicles, or flying. And the flying ones will have dark blue for the windshield, and ground vehicles have the red. So if you want to do it in mugs, just remember that. Okay, it's quite enough of that guy there. But it's a kind of a cool build. Now let's go to the other robot that they made. 1994 release, 6889, the Recon Robot. Now this one definitely has a far more interesting expression. It looks like they deliberately tried to make a face. It's literally one of those snot bricks as it forms a head, and you can see it's got some printed elements, and has other pieces throughout it. Once again, we don't see hinges, that is ball and sockets like we have now, but these are actual hinges. And these are the utensil pieces. It works as basic claws. This red window is kind of cool. And also this, once again, one of those plates on the front with a little door. But this one doesn't come out, it just opens and closes. On the rear here is literally a storage area, which is kind of cool. Looks like weapons on the side. And then I've always found confusing, maybe someone can shed light on this, is we have a screen in here, and this screen shows like a lit up robot that doesn't really look like this one or anything from the Lego playsets at the time. Is that supposed to be like an AI brain of this robot? But see, there's a place to actually sit here. So I wonder if that's a targeting computer or something like there's supposed to be some other enemy or something that maybe was in the development that didn't make it. I don't know. But it's kind of cool, though. And once again, these wheels. This is a little bit more believable, the way these wheels are laid out. This is one of my most favorite wheels from the early Lego era. Just the shape and feel of them, the way they work, the clearance they give, it just seems very believable and nice. So anyways, that's a recon robot, and I always like this expression it has. Now let's go ahead a few years to 1997 with set 2154, the Robo Master, the largest of the Robo Force. And this is a Robo Master here. And actually I have the minifigs. And then for some reason, as soon as I built this one, I always thought this reminds me of a TV antenna. I don't know why. Once again, you see the hinged points, no ball and sockets. It works. Utensils being used for claws, and heavy use of the trans neon green colors. Heavy use. Easy enough to imagine this being a rather aggressive looking weapon. Now, it does have an attempt to have legs. These are reflective stickers and very heavy use of wheels. This actually looks quite impressive, quite an imposing looking vehicle. And it has, this is kind of an interesting build here. Rows of printed units, and we have, both have minifigures in here, and we have stickers here. A flyer on the back, which is really cool. Launches off. Impressive build. More use of that trans neon green. Oops. What did I lose? Nope, nothing. As I said, these stickers, these pieces here are kind of hard to get, these printed elements. He just fits down in here. And I usually use a tail just to kind of keep him in place. But that is the Robo Master. A little bit fragile, I think. Now let's go to 2153, Robo Stalker, which is also 1997. There's only 4 sets in the Robo Force line. This is actually one of my personal favorite sets because this one just somehow fits, like even against clones and stuff. It's very abstract, but it feels like something that would be possibly, you know, an enemy. We have a very nice attempt at having legs here with the little wheels on the bottom, which, but it's kind of cool. It's definitely a very interesting build to it. It's always had this, what I feel I used to call an oven door here on the back. And inside of here is the control panels, and the figure is laying on his back. But there he is. And if you notice the color coding, trans neon orange, and then trans neon green. And at first I thought they were like enemy units, but they're not. It seems like this one is more of a melee, more of a military, and the other one's more exploring. The reason is the trans green colors, they don't really have a lot of weapons. They have like little hands and stuff, whereas this is obviously appears to be a weapon. This looks pretty aggressive. And then, let's face it, these are definitely firearms or weapons on the front. And this also is designed to break clear, like the piece on the Spyrius unit. His wings do come down, could be considered a flyer. You do have these little storage units on the side. This gray triangular piece was common in Explorians. And in the cockpit here, you do have printed detail, and you have another minifig. Quite an interesting build, I think, and quite charming. It is definitely one of my favorites because this one can fit other themes, I think. It just, you know, and the name Robo Stalker just kind of sounds kind of a bit threatening, I think. Now, we're going to talk about 2152, the Robo Raptor, which is the one that I feel doesn't belong in this lineup because it doesn't look like any of them. It is a robot build. It is that trans neon green color. So it's not really a military weapon, right? There doesn't appear to be, I don't know, it's got the little hands to grab, which are not really useful because there's no joints to them. It just goes up and down. And also, we have legs that kind of work. Well, swivel walkers. If you are into Rock Raiders, you'll appreciate these. And the carrier places are on the back. It's well colored. Looks like we're missing one of our little pegs there. Little antennas for controlling the movement. I mean, they're not really attached, but this head just sort of swivels. It's kind of strange. It's not a terrible looking build, I don't think. It's just that it doesn't belong. It literally does not fit the other, more like mech warrior style. This looks strange. Anyways, so you have this, and this is set 2152 Robo Raptor. Now, where it all starts, I guess, depending on the counting you do, 2151, the Robo Raider. We're very much back to the mech design look. This also, I think, is designed to break loose. It's like a little ship. It's got flying device here, propulsion. I believe it's designed to break loose. This is the orange, so once again, we're looking at weapons. Also, this one has its 1x2 towel, which slides right through. And I think that must be a play feature. It does have the grabby claws on this side, but once again, it has obviously a weapon and some sort of a cutting implement, which is the same color from Ice Planet. You see the same triangular pieces are used here, but there's no stickers on the back. They're used as some sort of shell guardian, and also you'll see the swivel walkers back. Pretty cool though, and it kind of fits. I mean, it looks like a little mech warrior, so I think it does fit the line. Just leaving the poor, Robo Raptor out. This is the Raider, and still has that kind of look. So I guess we'll compare the two smallest, and what do you think? 1994, 1997. The red and black of the Spyrius is hard to beat. This seems a little bit awkward, but we're working on having legs. In 1999, you would have the little drill walker from Rock Raiders, and that's only 2 years in the future. Then turn of the century, and a lot of these colors are retired by 03. Anyways, that's been quite a long video there. As mentioned before, my favorite is still the Robo Stalker. I just think it looks kind of cool. Maybe a little bit pleasantly Lego awkward, but it looks just kind of cool and kind of like potentially a threatening kind of vehicle. Anyways, appreciate the views out there. Until next time, y'all stay safe. Ciao.